Welcome everyone once more to another episode of Dyson Sphere Program. So today I'd like to start with a bit of an explanation. So in the last episode I said we'd look at ourselves a bit, and we obviously didn't do that. What I mean by that is I said we'd go here into the upgrades and we'd have a look at a few of these upgrades for us, starting off with the Maker Core. It must be said that I'm a bit new to this, trying it out as it were. So my timings can be a bit off. I didn't realize last episode would take that much time, and yeah. Not to worry though, they say practice makes perfect, and while we're not perfect yet, why not get the practicing, right? So with that out of the way, let's roll into blue science. So you can see here that there is a flashing upgrades in the top left corner. Now we'll notice here that we can get the Maker Core so long. So I'm going to activate that in the meantime. We are missing quite a bit of iron and copper, but everything else generally after that is going to take blue science packs as well. So you can see this is one that doesn't take it. However, we don't yet know how to make electric motors. This one here also doesn't take blue science, but we don't know how to make steel at the moment. Here we've got blue science, here we've got the circuit boards. We can do the circuit boards, so in fact I'm actually going to queue that up, and I'd like to get into blueprints anyways because they look amazing. Let's see if there's anything else we can. This also, once again, doesn't take it, but it takes graphite, and we don't have the science for that. And that's the same for a few of these items further along down the line as well. However, we can unlock flight, so I'll get that queued up as well. Let's just quickly go through the rest of these. Solar sails, ray transmissions, no, we can't do nothing. So I've got the 3 that we can do right now, and the rest of them are going to require blue science. So I'm just going to queue up blue science after that as well. Okay, then let's get into getting all of the materials to get the science done, and while that is busy happening, while we're getting the science done, I'm going to start setting up the process to start making the blue science. Now we can see blue science here takes in the coils and the green circuits, and that's fine. We can just set up the plant so long for it and have it ready for when all the science is done. Alright, so you'll notice here we're back at this place here. This is where we started, and we moved everything over to the location just next to us. I think this here is going to be the best spot to make a little small science area. We've got 2 veins of iron, one at the top left and one over here, and then we've got copper in the corner. That's all we need. We only need copper and iron. So I'm going to start with mining out the copper on the right over here, because there's a small little bit of copper. I'm mixing up so many things. There's a small little bit of iron on the right over here, and there is a significant amount of copper. As we've seen before, we tend to need more iron than we do anything else in this game. Much unlike, a similar style game that we all know about. It's Factorial. So I'm just going to get this started. I think we want to have, let's see, where are we going to make it? So we're going to need 2 ingredients specifically here. The first one being the copper coils, and the second one being the green circuits. If we just look at the ingredients for both of these, let's just do that. So the copper coils taking the iron magnet rings and copper, and the circuit boards take in the 1 copper and 2 iron. Do they do it in the same? So that's 2 for 1 second, that is 2 for 1 second. So they make it at the same rate, and that's not a problem. So in fairness, we don't really want to worry too much just yet about ratios and all that fancy stuff. I'm going to just have 3 of them. I'm going to have 3 just going along the way. And then 3 of these, just move them along. Let me get the miners down so long. I'm going to try and make this as compact as I physically can, because I want this little area to basically go away quickly. We put down some miners in this area, and we don't really mind if this is high speed or not. That should do the trick. And we are going to need some furnaces. Oh, no, not furnaces, smelters. Wrong game. Let's see. So this will all come out the bottom. This will come out this side. I think we can make our 3 set smelters over there, 3 sets there, and this will be right next to it. Will that be enough space? I don't know. We'll find out now. So if we bring in the copper ore this side, and we take out the copper plates this side, we can see that we definitely do not have enough space. So let me just make some space here. So iron ore coming in this side, iron ingots going out that way. Let's put those out there. So iron ore will come in on that belt, and we will take out the what are these things? The magnets. And we can just copy that to all the rest of them. I will just wait on that for a little bit actually. So that goes in, that goes in, that goes in, out, out, and that one's still building. That one is out, out, and out. This one will go out, 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 in, and they're still building as well. Let's set up the rest of the belts. I won't let you wait on this because I noticed that it can get quite annoying to just watch the laying of belts. I don't know, you guys let me know. Do you like me laying down the belts? Do you like to see every single belt put down one for one, slowly, painfully, rather agonizingly? Or do you want me to just basically skip through once we get the main layout done? I can skip through all of it and then we can just enjoy the game. For now, right now, I'm just gonna skip it out. Okay, be back in like 4 seconds. Alright guys, so we're back. I have set everything up now and we can see here that it's all good to go. It is just missing power, although all the power poles are placed down. We can see that I've hooked up all of the iron ore. There's something wrong with me, I swear. I've hooked up all of the copper ore and I've hooked up all of the iron ore to go to their respective arc furnaces, smelters. It's that thing that's wrong with me. It's just a thing. We have the input of the iron ore on this belt coming into the arc smelters. Yes, got it. First time. One side has got the iron ingots and the other side has got the magnets. Over here we've got 4 an additional 1 arc smelter for copper, because I noticed that these machines here, they take in 1 of each, but both of them take in a copper. So I've decided to just have 1 machine, or 2 furnaces, 2 smelters dedicated to each production line. But you'll notice I did something quite fancy here. So I had to split the line, but right now we don't have splitters. So in the very near future, this is going to become a whole lot easier. So I'm just trying to shuffle myself around so you can see nicely. I got these 2 smelters putting onto this one belt, and then it goes up by 1 and just goes across. Then on the underneath belt, it just, this is a poor man's splitter is what I'm basically trying to tell you. So all of these bolts then end up just going down, tra-la-la-la-la. All of the items come along, and there's all of the sorters and inserters to go into the machines, and they are all good to go, I hope. Obviously untested, as all things should be. And at the end of the line, we are going to produce these 2 items, which will feed into this matrix lab, and we can set this matrix lab to be a production matrix lab, so it will take in the magnetic coils and the circuit boards and make a electromagnetic matrix, the blue science cube. And I've got a little trick to show you. So what happens is the one lab needs to create the blue cubes. The other lab needs to use the blue cubes. Now I'm going to show you a quick trick on how you can have these 2 right next to each other while still having enough space to move the items out. Because you'll notice here, if you just try and put an item across there, it says it's too close. I'll show you the quick trick, and here it is. Okay, so it's not really a trick, it's just outputting onto a belt and the belt's taken back in. But it looks nice because I can still walk through there. So clearly I am made of some transparent material, transparent to physics, but it does keep it both in the same little grouping that I've got here. Oh, there we go, that's right button. So it is within this bounds, and that's pretty cool. Is that going to make it go the wrong way? That's going to make it go the wrong way. This belt is going to go all the way to the top and come down, and this belt is going to go all the way to the back. And then all we're going to do is insert, 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 insert there, insert there, and insert there. And that, well, that's that. And let's just be clear here. This is not going to be a permanent solution. It will do for right now. There are 5, 6 different research packs, and this is one of. We are still very early in the game, and as we progress, you'll notice that this isn't going to quite cut it. So going forward, we're going to redesign this a little bit, but we'll take it as it goes. One thing that's also pretty cool here is if this is overflowing, and say we're producing way too many circuit boards and magnetic rings, magnetic coils for this one research lab to make, so it can't produce it in the right, it can't produce at the right speed, keep up with the inputs, we can simply just, I'm holding shift now, click on it, and we can build right on top of it, and again, and that's as far as we can go right now. So we can have 3 research labs stacked on top of each other, and we can do the same on the other side if we had enough research labs. So now to see if we're going to actually have this thing working properly, I'm now going to attach the power. It's going to have its own dedicated little power system over here because I don't really want it to interfere too much with the setup that I have going on in our primary base. So I'm going to try find a little bit of spots here, fill it in as much as possible, and well, we'll basically hope for the best. So now let's see if everything's working. All of the mining machines seem to be working there. We have ore being produced, we have copper being produced, we have the coils, the magnetic coils being produced, and we have the iron ingots being produced. That's fantastic. And you see the copper on either side of the belts. And let's go see how it's working. We've got the green circuit boards going that side, and we've got the copper coils going this side, the magnetic coils. And also over here, they are both being brought in at a reasonable speed. For right now, I mean, there's not that much power. They're probably all bottleneck of power. Oh yes, very much so. That's not a problem. And they are now being consumed and taken in by the research lab. This has unlocked the blue science for us. So now we can go and see what else we can get in our normal tech tree. Starting off, I think we're going to just go with the improved logistics because that gives us the splitter, and that's just it. It's good. So we'll do that, and we'll say don't use in our inventory, just use what you have, and let's carry on down the list. I think we should go for steel after that because we need. So this will just help us organize our lines. This will help us with our upgrades for ourselves. Let's see. This one will help us with the energetic graphite, and we'll be needing that for power. So that will be fantastic. And let's see what else do we have. We've got thermal power. This is the power that we'll be needing it for, and we want that. Want to go this side quickly. We do not need this right now. Let's see. I don't think we need that. Do we need that? Yes, we do, but only a little bit later. Over here, this is what we need to make the electric motors, so we'll be grabbing that because, like we mentioned in the last episode, and in this one also, we're going to focus on ourselves. So I'm only getting the research that will allow us to better ourselves because I'm important. That's what I keep telling myself. Oh, and this is also going to be very important to do as well. This will allow us to see all of the the vein distribution on the planet, the ores and the Or basically everything, all of the resources that we have. But let's have a look. How are we doing? 5 minutes. We are doing rather poorly. So essentially the end goal in this whole research tree that we've got here is that we want to go along the top route, because we want to go through all of our logistics systems. We want to unlock the best conveyor belts we possibly can and eventually end off at the planetary logistics systems. However, we want to still go one step further and get the interstellar logistics system. This is when the game really opens itself up. You can transport items from so basically the biggest limitation to any production line that you can make in this game is how much resources you can get to the field, to your construction machines. And we're on a planet. Yeah, there's only so much space. I mean, I know it's big, but there's only so much space on the planet, and there's only so many resources on each planet. So when we go a little bit further out and we decide to look a tiny bit further, we have multiple planets in our solar system, which we can go and colonize and turn into factories. I've seen some gameplays of this where they took entire planets and made one item. We may not get to that point, but we can surely give it a try. I mean, this is still my first playthrough on the game. I want to get a Dyson Sphere. And speaking of which, I actually wanted to rename this solar system. As awesome as Trianguli Australis is, this solar system will now be named Kent. The D is kind of silent. So this is sort of as part of a deal. The holder of the name doesn't actually know he's part of yet. So that's exciting. So now that we're on planet Lambda Kent III, let's have a quick look at how our production is going. So we are making a good amount of good amount of iron. We're making a good amount of copper. We've saturated both input belts, and we are slowly saturating both output belts as well. So clearly we are producing at max capacity. Now we can add an additional matrix lab on top, and I think that is perfectly fine, because it seems like we need to make more than what we currently are consuming at this moment in time. However, we can quickly go and see what do we need to make more. We just need stone, so I will get that eventually. Not to worry about it right now. So as we do some of the last remaining bits of research, there's nothing much else I can do, so I'm just going to wait it out and see how it goes. Yes, this is staying. I'm not going to tear this down. This is a monument. Monument from where we began. As a reminder. Yay! Alright, see you guys when it's all done. Alright guys, so as promised, we're going to have a look at ourselves now. So I'm not going to do any of the research or upgrades for ourselves right now that require the blue signs. I just want that to pile up a little bit so we have a little bit of a backlog first. So I'm going to go through all of the ones that we already have and just give them a little bit of an explanation, as well as look for ones that we can upgrade. I've actually queued them up already, which don't require any blue signs. First and foremost, we already have the Mega Core, which adds 40 megajoules of max core energy. That you'll see very soon, that's not actually that much. The next one is going to require red signs as well as blue signs, and we are not so far, but a little bit of ways away from the red signs. So this one, the next one is a mechanical frame that gives us a little bit extra movement speed, but it requires 60 motors. We can now make the motors. We have got all the signs to do so. So we'll be getting onto that very soon. The next one after that, this is a very nice one. Inventory line capacity. Right now we only have 3 lines. Oh, it will be so amazing for us to have more. The next one from that is going to take red signs as well as this. All of these generally will take red signs afterwards. So I'm going to do all the blue signs after we finish off all of these ones, and we can carry on going from there. Communication control. While this would be really handy to have, it does take blue signs. That's okay. We'll hold off for right now. This one we already have. I am going to get into this very soon. I just need to figure out what we're going to use it for. I haven't really used blueprints much at all, so it's still brand new to me. I see here there's a limit of 60 facilities. I wonder if that includes belts. That would be interesting. What we're going to get onto after that is the energy circuit. This will add mecha fuel power. Now I don't know. Okay, let's read this here. Increases the recovery speed of the mecha core. Okay, so I suppose that just means that whichever power you give it, it will consume it quicker. However, right now we've got the energetic graphite. This is a very good power source for actually quite far into the game, actually. Until we get a chance to make some, I think it's some kind of fuel rod. I don't really know. But as soon as we get the next advanced one from there, graphite will be fantastic to have. Then we've got the drone speeds. This is also very good, but it takes the matrix, so we are not going to go on to that one just yet. So we've just got these three queued up right now. I'm going to go make all of these items, and I'll be back in a quick second. So the science is done for our little Mickey guy over here, but it is far from over. We actually have one more science that we're going to quickly get done, and then I will see you at our next build location. There is one last thing we want to get done in this episode, and that will prepare us for the expansion of our base in the next episode. So if we go into our technologies, this environment modification here, this will allow us to terraform the planet, and we'll be doing that quite a bit. So I'm going to just activate this and we will let it go. No need to use an inventory because we've got this entire setup going. I've let this run for a bit. We've got a bit of backlog and we can get through it all, and it will be fantastic. So I'll be back in a quick moment when I'm done with the science so that we can get the foundations done. So unironically, we can lay the foundations for our next expansion. Alright guys, we're back here now, and I found a little spot over here near the North Pole. If we just focus rotate our camera up, pushing in will orient the camera to be the nearest, the up is the nearest pole. So I've got a little bit of a sort of alright situation here. I've got stone in the top left, I've got iron in the bottom left, and then I've got coal. Now the coal will be very good for us because we need to obviously power these machines. I want to make this as a dedicated area because we'll be needing a lot of this as well. This is probably the most used item in the game, if you ask me. I think that if you are going to go around the whole universe and try and colonize everything, you're going to need to terraform a vast majority of the ground around you. So making a dedicated area to just build this is going to be good. So I want to start off, as we always start off, I'm just going to lay this out quickly. Although what is rather annoying in this area, because we're so close to the North Pole, you'll notice that their lines don't always match up. So there's like little rings around the planet where there are matching lines. And if we build top to bottom on the planet, then you can run into situations where you can't really build nicely on these grid lines. So I'm going to try and bring everything possibly into this area over here. So I'm going to take the stone, I'm going to bring them down, and then I'll take the iron and I'll bring it up. And we'll see how that goes, and I suppose take it from there. So for right now, I want to just go through the process of figuring out the ratios, because this will be the first one that we've done so far where we care about ratios. We want to basically be making one of these, every second. So we need three stone bricks, and a stone brick gets made, how quickly does that get made? Let's figure that out. The stone brick gets made one every second, so we're going to need 3 of these. I'm just going to put them down, you see what I mean, you can't quite line it up right. So I'm just going to put this down over there, just so we can know how many items we need. I'm just going to put a power pole so that all the icons can show up. Then we're going to need one steel every second. And the steel is also made in the arc furnace. So I'm quickly going to grab that down, put this in here, and let's see. So this is made once every 3 seconds. So we need 3 every 1 sec, so we'll need 3 of these to function at the same time. That's okay, we don't really care about the placement right now, I just want to get the ratios down. So this will be making at ratio for this one to be making at constant speed. That's 3 for that and 3 for that. So the steel takes in 3 iron ingots for every 1. However, it makes it every 3 seconds. So let's see how fast does an iron ingot get made. And I'm sure we all know that answer by now. It is 1 every second. So this will make 1 every second and this will make 1 every 3 seconds. But this requires 3. So we only need 1 iron smelter to make the iron ingots to supply 1 arc smelter to make the steel. So actually we just need to do this, and then we've got all of the materials, or not materials, we've got all of the machines we need to build. So I'm going to quickly go and set this up at a location. I might double this up because like I said, it's very much needed. So let me go do that quick and then I'll be right back. And we're back. So that took a little bit of time, but not too bad. So we have over here on the bottom, we've got 4 mining machines, and we've got 3 mining machines at the top there by the stone. On the iron ore here, we've got a split. These 2 mining machines go onto this one belt, and these 2 mining machines go onto the other belt. That gets fed into our smelters to make iron ingots, which gets fed into the more smelters to make steel, which then goes down to the belt, down this belt in the middle to get processed later on. On this side here, we have these mining machines that are going to be sending us the stone, and the stone then comes around down the middle, which gets then fed into these arc smelters that make us the stone bricks. Stone bricks then come, do the same little bit of a snaky manangled mess over here, get split into 2 separate inputs, one on the left and one on the right, and those go into our assembly machines to make us eventually these foundations. Foundations will then find themselves into a small little storage box. Now I'm not going to limit this box because the more the merrier, right? Brilliant. So that is the whole setup for our little dedicated setup to make the foundations. Now all that's left to do is to power the whole thing. And as if by magic, it's all here. All of our power situational needs are done, and we've got this whole little setup done. So we have got like a million coal here, so we don't need to be too worried about it, but this does provide a rather neat little spot to have our main planetary power station. So that's what I'm going to eventually be turning this little place into. But just to explain what's going on quickly, we've got the coal being mined from the mining machines. I set up 3 of them. If we start to I don't think we're going to run out of speed here. As you can see, it's pretty full. So I've just got that set up over there, and trying to be a little bit conservative here, I have got 6 arc furnaces ready to go. However, I've only got 2 running right now, and that is because we are only somewhat satisfying the need for our power consumption in this little area. So we're going to be bringing these online as required. And just to have a tiny little tutorial, if you push the comma key on your keyboard, or it is the left angle bracket, you copy the recipe, and then you can just hover over your other smelter or whatever, and you can just push the other arrow key or the full stop button, and that pastes in the recipe. So that just makes this a lot easier to just like go copy that, paste, and you're good to go. As you can see there, I've just copied it onto that one. But I want to keep these ones blank at the top just for right now, because I want to see how many this powers. So I've got 3 operational at the moment, and it is only powering 70%. However, you'll notice that it is bringing in the coal, the energetic graphite into this one, and then it's passing it through to this guy, and it will eventually pass through over here as well. I want to see at what point do we pass through to the 3rd thermal power plant. So this is just kind of like an experiment for myself. But anyways, we've got power set up, and we can see in the back over here that we have been creating some of these foundations. So we are good to go. I'm going to let this run for a little bit actually before let's just get out of the lightning bolt. I'm going to let this run a little bit before we start the next episode, just so I've got a good amount of foundation to carry on with on the next one. So I'm going to leave it here. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Bye.